Let's head to America because Kamala Harris and her deputy have all the momentum in the United States. The debates will be pivotal.
They will. And Kamala Harris hasn't done any interviews yet, and that's a point of some criticism that's coming out. But I think
it's very Obama-esque, isn't it, in that way?
Well, indeed. I think it's about establishing her character, her policies, the vibe of her election campaign, which she has to do on the big stage. And remember, she hasn't spent years planning the ascendancy to the leadership. She was sitting in the vice presidency, so she's had to play catch up. But what we're seeing now is a very sharp division developing, I guess, along gender lines in the United States. We're seeing amongst women very strong endorsement of the Harris-Walz ticket, and amongst men still a lukewarm support. Her numbers amongst men, for example, are down in the low 30s, which is where Hillary Clinton was when she failed to win the election in 2016 against Trump. But amongst women, it's very high. It's in the high 50s in some places. So that comes then down to a question about the style of government that we want to see in the United States if we're American citizens. And there is a big spike in support of this idea that, she's more inclusive, that she's got this joyous campaign, as Walz describes, as against the more misogynistic, boorish sort of attitudes of people like Trump and Vance, who have continued to persecute or prosecute a case against her around, her being dumb, her being, low IQ, the whole thing about the childless cat owning women. Very bad introduction to the campaign for Vance. All these things are making it very interesting, but it's going to go down to the wire.
Oh, it sure will. And one of the other things is the youth vote. Like the youth of the United States have traditionally been quite ambivalent to heading to the electoral office and voting. But if Taylor Swift comes on board, and it's a very modern campaign, if that all comes on board and they can all if it's a thing to go and vote, it'd be huge.
Then young people will. And that's what we see. And of course, this TikTok campaigning that we're seeing now coming out of the Harris campaign, all aimed at young people. Biden was not switching them on at all. And I think most of them were probably planning to stay at home. There are complexities in the youth vote because of Gaza, particularly. That Biden was seen to be, too conservative on the question of Gaza by a lot of young people. So that was probably not meaning they were going to vote for Trump, but they're more likely just to stay at home. And as we've got to remember, in the United States, it's not just about voting, it's about actually registering and then turning up on the day. It's not compulsory.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's fascinating. We'll talk real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.